We are on to unit 2, and in unit 2 we are started with our second topic, that is communication style. In communication style, we have seen that everyone has different types of communication style. We have seen in the definition that communication style is nothing but the choice that we tend to make while communicating with others. We have seen there are two dimensions. On y-axis you have assertiveness level, and on x-axis you have emotiveness level. um, uh, Depending upon this, if there is a model which has been put forward by Dr. Ellen Rousseau. Ellen Rousseau has taken as you say, has taken two dimensions, that is assertiveness and emotiveness. Assertiveness can be high, that is high assertiveness and low assertiveness, or you can have low expressiveness and high expressiveness. Because of this, two dimensions, you have four quadrants. Then in the four quadrants you have different communication style. You have direct communication style, you have spirited communication style, you have systemic communication style, and you have considered communication style. Further, we have seen that if you have low expressiveness and low assertiveness, then it forms, see over here, low assertiveness and low expressiveness, it forms in the systemic. Then you get the systemic communication style. If you have high assertiveness and you have low expressiveness, then it becomes a direct communication style. You have a high assertiveness and high expressiveness, it becomes a spirited communication style. And if you have low assertiveness and high expressiveness, then it becomes a considerate expressiveness communication style. Okay, so these are the four different communication styles that we are going to study in future. Up till this point we have studied yesterday. Okay, now depending upon this model, the scientist further says that people can fall anywhere in different corners. They can have different communication style. Somebody like this person, this dot represents one person who is having a direct communication style. This person over here is having a spirited communication style. This person over here is having a considerate communication style. This person over here is having a systemic communication style, if you can see my cursor. Okay, so this person over here is having a systemic communication style. Now if you there are some people who can have a combination communication style also. Let us see this person over here. Okay, now this person is having a communication style which is in between the direct and the systemic communication style. If you see this person over here, he is having a communication style in between spirited and direct, or he can have a combination of both, or he can have a cocktail of both the communication style, or he can have a mixture of both the communication style, or sometimes he may have a direct communication style. At some situation he may have a spirited communication style. This person over here is having two communication style, that is at sometimes he is having spirited, sometimes he is having considerate, and sometimes he is having a cocktail of both of them. This person over here is having a communication style of systemic and considerate. Whereas if you see this person over here, he is having a combination of all. Sometimes he may be having a systemic style, sometimes he may be having a considerate, sometimes he may be having spirited, sometimes he may be having a direct communication style. So the communication style that this person has cannot be clearly defined at given moment of time. You cannot say कि इस बंदे का यही communication style है, कि whether he is a direct, spirited, considerate or systemic. You are not able to understand because he keeps on changing his communication style. Or you can say he is having a communication style which is a cocktail of all the communication style, and hence it is totally different from the other communication styles. Okay. As a person moves from the center of this communication style to one side, so from center he is moving to one side, then he is going to have from here to here, or from here to he is moving over here, or from here he is moving over here. Okay, then you can say that as he moves away from the center, then his one style becomes more predominant. Okay, so banda jab yahan pe hai, if someone falls in this category, you can say no, I cannot tell what communication style actually he is having. But if somebody is over here, then you can say yes, the communication style he has is a direct communication style. Now the question arises is, why do you want to actually identify a communication style? Okay, Because if you understand a communication style of that person, then it will be easier for you to communicate with him. Okay, it becomes easier. You are able to understand that person, you are able to understand that understand his communication, and you know how to, what strategies I have to implement in order to make my communication skill with him very effective in nature. Okay, that is why it is very important for you to understand your communication style and also to understand the communication style of others. Okay, in the further slides we are going to talk about this in great detail. Now moving further, now as you have seen, the person who is having a very high assertiveness style believes more in telling. Okay, he basically tells, whereas a person who is having a low is low on assertiveness communication style, he basically asks. Or if a person is having low expressiveness, then he's going to hide his emotions. You're not going to see his emotion while he's communicating. Whereas a person, if it is having a high expressiveness style, he's falling over here, then he's going to display his emotion. Just for if I want to take an example, then a person with a spirited communication style believes in telling and is always displaying his emotion. A person with direct communication style believes in telling and basically he hides his emotion. He doesn't show his emotions. A person with systemic communication style is going to ask, is going to discuss more, but he is going to hide his emotions. Whereas a person who is considerate is going to ask you as well as he is going to display his emotions, right? So these are how these person communicate with you, right? Now moving ahead, why you first of all what you have to do is you have to understand the style of communication from this 4 basic style. What you have to do is you have to understand your style also, and you have to understand the style of other person also. Now somebody may ask me a question, समझो कृष्णा से मैं अभी इतना बात कर रहा था, कृष्णा मन में सोच रहा होगा सर ये आइसोटोनिसिटी वगैरह ठीक है, ये काम की चीजें, ये क्या मुझे लग रहा है, what is this you are talking about, why should I understand the communication style of some other person, or why should I understand my communication style? So I have to tell Krishna that once he starts maturing in his work, the main thing that he is going to do every day is nothing but communication. That is the main thing that he has to do. आइसोटोनिसिटी वगैरह ये सब दूसरे लोग देख लेंगे जो जूनियर से, but what he has to do is he has to crack deals, he has to grow his business, right? He has to go on discussing with people, he has to discuss with his superiors, he has to discuss with his juniors, and for that what he requires is he requires a communication, that he requires to understand the other person, how the other person is, what is his style and what is your style. है कि नहीं? अगर वो समझो ऑफिशियल से बात, मिनिस्ट्री में ऑफिशियल है, कोई मंत्री है, ओके, जस्ट फॉर एन एग्जांपल ही वांट्स टू टॉक विद डीसीजीआई, ड्रग कंट्रोलर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया, डॉक्टर वी सोमानी से उनको बात करनी है कृष्णा को, then he should first understand what style of communication he loves, isn't it? What is his own style of communication? कृष्णा की खुद की क्या स्टाइल है कम्युनिकेशन की, सोमानी साहब की खुद की कम्युनिकेशन की क्या स्टाइल है, and after understanding this then he has to formulate a strategy how he is going to communicate with him, then and then only his communication is going to be successful. If he doesn't do that, अगर वो अपने अपने लेवल पे बात कर रहा है, he is not understanding the other person, then the communication is not going to be successful. The 5 minutes that he is going to get to talk with Somani sir and to get his drug approved, उसको एक ड्रग अप्रूव कराना है खुद का, उसको पास सिर्फ 5 मिनट है, तो he has to make his communication in such a way that in that 5 minutes he is able to convince Somani sir कि नहीं मेरा ड्रग अच्छा है and it is useful and it is beneficial. Are you understanding? So that's why it is very, very important for you to understand what communication style you have and what communication style the other person is having. Now, a person has different communication styles at different places. For example, he may have his own primary style, the style he is more comfortable with. ठीक है, लेट मी पुट इट इन, दिस इज माय थियरी कि जब बंदा अपने दोस्तों के साथ होता है, then the style that he uses is his primary style basically. Okay, whenever you are talking with friends whom, जहां से आपको कुछ से काम निकालना नहीं होता, आपको कुछ उससे काम करवाना नहीं होता, professionally you are not known to each other, okay, you are not related to each other anywhere, there is no relationship like husband wife relationship, like brother relationship, like father mother relation, father son relationship, and so on. These relationships are not there. Okay, then whatever style you use is basically your primary style. This is your own style and you're more comfortable in this style. Apart from this primary style, you have one more style of yours, which they call it as a secondary style. ये सेकेंडरी स्टाइल कौन सी है? ये सेकेंडरी स्टाइल वो है कि जब आप काम पे जाते हो, then at work there is a specific demand of the job for you to speak in a specific way. Just for an example, right? A person may talk very less at home, okay, but if he's in sales job, okay, so he's a direct kind of a communicator. Let us put it in that way. Okay, so he's a direct communicator, but he's into sales job. So in sales job, what you basically require is a spirited kind of a communicator, right? So primary style उसकी क्या है? डायरेक्ट कम्युनिकेटर. सेकेंडरी स्टाइल उसकी क्या है? His secondary style is spirited communicator. Okay, and why this is there? Because his job demands that way. Okay, or when he's at home, he is using a different communication style. समझो उसकी प्राइमरी कम्युनिकेशन स्टाइल डायरेक्ट है, लेकिन जब वो घर पे आता है तो his father is very, very particular in things. His mother is very, very particular in things. Then what is the communication style that he is using? He is using a systematic communication style over there. So his primary communication style is direct and his secondary communication style is spirited. Usually what happens is, so there are two or three styles a person is basically using, and he usually changes that style. फ्रेंड्स में हो गया तो कुछ अलग स्टाइल वो यूज करेगा, जब वो घर पे आ गया तो कुछ अलग स्टाइल यूज करेगा. When he is at work, he is going to use some different communication style, and he is going to go on shuffling into his communication style. You have these type of people also, and also you have these types of people that wherever they go, they will use only one and only one communication style. That primary style is so very dominant, that primary communication style is so very dominant in them, that that person is going to use the same style everywhere. Whether that person is at home, whether that person is at office, whether that person is with his wife, whether the person is with his children, whether the person is with his friends, whether the person is with his relatives, whether the person is with his father or mother, किसी से भी बात करता हो वो he is going to use only one and only one style. That is the primary style that he is going to use. You have these kind of people also, but mostly people have their own. Yeah, sorry.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Can I just finish this slide and then I'll come to your doubt? Okay. Who is this?
Sir, this is Krishna.
Okay, fine. So you have a primary style and I said you have a secondary style. And usually what happens over a period of time is, you have a style in between these, combination style we call it. जो मैंने आपको पहले बताया कि so a person may land somewhere in between, whereby he may have a combination of these styles. Okay. So somewhere over here, if the person is lying, then he may have a combination style, something in mixture of a direct, spirited, considerate, and systematic. So that kind of thing is also there. Or usually the primary and the secondary style usually gel up. वो इतना use करता है बंदा हमेशा, यानी he is different at his work, he is different at his home, and that mix up so much that over a period of time, the style that he develops is a combination style, okay, which is a mixture of his primary or a secondary style, or it may be some different style of his own also. Further, we'll discuss this more about this primary, secondary, and the combination style in my next slide. Okay, yeah. Before that, Krishna, please do ask. Go ahead.
So, you were talking about that DCGI example. I just want to ask that does communication forms the basis of appeasement?
Does communication form the basis of appeasement?
Appeasement.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Diplomacy किसको बोलते हैं? If you want to appease a person, then the best form is communication. Just me saying, Krishna, what a fantastic question you have asked. Okay, अगर मुझे कृष्णा से कुछ काम करवा के लेना है तो is a form of appeasement. Okay, and what I have done is I have just communicated, or just Krishna telling me after listening to whatever I have answered you, just Krishna telling me, wow sir, what a fantastic explanation you have done. Okay, you have answered my question very nicely. It is just 2 lines that he is doing, just 2 lines he is saying, but what is it? It is an appeasement only.
So, but when you appease me, you do not expect something in return. But
why I do expect something in return. I am expecting from my students that when I appease them, they should appease me. Why? अब क्यों मैं भूखा नहीं हूँ क्या तारीफ का? क्या बात कर रहे हो यार? I want when I say this to Krishna, I want that Krishna should tell other people, wow, वाणी सर कितने अच्छे हैं यार, कितना मस्त सिखाते, चाहे कृष्णा को समझता हो नहीं समझता हो, लेकिन जैसे मैं कृष्णा को बोलता हूं कि वाओ कृष्णा व्हाट अ गुड क्वेश्चन, कृष्णा इज हैप्पी, और फिर उसको सब अच्छा लगता है वाणी सर का फिर सिखाना भी अच्छा लगता है. देन ही स्टार्ट सिटिंग टू हिज लेक्चर, he start attending his lecture, he start listening to his lectures. Okay, if not, then you should ask my third year students, how much I appease them, or you should be on my third year group. Then you will understand how much I appease them. They do one assignment and my immediate remark is well done, nice, submitted on time, and so on and so forth. That is, I'm writing it down. It is a form of communication only. So for appeasement, okay, communication is the best method. आपको पैसा भी खर्चा नहीं करना पड़ता है उसमें, ठीक है, गिफ्ट भी नहीं देना पड़ता, and you appease a person. It is the best form, communication is the best form. appeasement को अपन अगर दूसरे वे में पुट करें उसको, ठीक है, तो मोटिवेशन हम उसका क्या बोलते हैं, छापा काटा म्हणतो ना अपन, ओके, हेड्स एंड टेल्स. तो अपीजमेंट इफ it is heads, then motivation is the tails. Because once you appease a person, you motivate a person. Once I appease Krishna, then I am motivating him to sit for the lectures. I am motivating him to do the assignments. I am motivating him to listen to my lectures. I am motivating him to talk good about me. I am motivating him to get good marks in the examination. Okay. So when you appease, coming back to your question, if with your communication, if you are appeasing DCGI, okay, लेकिन वो भी बंदा होशियार है, किसी को भी किसी भी तरह से अपीज करके फायदा नहीं होता. अगर आप वाणी सर को बोलोगे कि सर व्हाट अ गुड लेक्चर, आई नो कृष्णा यू आर अपीजिंग मी, ये भी आपको याद रखना पड़ता है. लेकिन फिर भी अपीजमेंट अच्छी लगती है, याद रखना. दो पीपल नो दैट यू आर अपीजिंग, बट स्टिल पीपल लाइक अपीजमेंट. यू शुड अपीज पीपल, यू शुड. whenever you get an opportunity, appease people. इसके ऊपर मैं I can talk about 3 to 4 hours on appeasement and how you should appease and what are the methods of appeasement. कभी कृष्णा आपको टाइम मिल जाए तो आ जाओ मेरे पास. We will have a great lecture on appeasement. Okay, fine. But yes, communication. Coming to your question, the answer is yes. A short answer is yes. Yeah. Okay. Are you satisfied, Krishna, with whatever answer I have given? Is Krishna
Yes,
on
sir.
there first of all? Okay, okay.
Yes,
Fine.
sir, sort of. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sort of. Why not completely?
No, sir.
No. So what was the answer that you were expecting?
So I wasn't expecting. I was just like, isn't appeasement for financial gains against the working ethics?
No, I don't think so. If you're getting financial gain by appeasement, then what is the problem?
All right,
What
sir.
is the problem? If I'm getting a contract, if I'm getting a contract of supplying drugs to a organization or to a hospital, just for example, I'm into business of supplying of drugs, and if I'm getting an order of supplying drugs to that hospital, और मुझे अगर दो अच्छे शब्द बोलने पड़ रहे, तो क्या बुरा है उसमें? दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ बिजनेस बेटा. बिजनेस करने के लिए आपको साम दाम दंड भेद करना पड़ता है, लेकिन what is wrong is, what I feel is wrong, once you get the order, supplying substandard drugs is wrong. That is a crime. But to get an order to appease some person is absolutely good. Krishna, you are Krishna Purohit, right? Your surname is
Yes,
Purohit.
yes, sir.
And are you Maharashtrian or Marwadi?
Sir, Marwadi.
फिर तो आप ये कैसे पूछ रहे हो क्वेश्चन?
Sir.
Appeasement is in your blood, beta. Okay. The success of Marwadi stands because of the way they speak. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Understand that. ये तो आपके खून में है. Okay. So don't leave that style. That is your primary style. So don't leave that. Okay. Fine.
Okay, sir.
But definitely, as you said, just because of appeasing getting a contract, when you're not able to fulfill it, is definitely wrong. Okay. Getting something done that is illegal because of appeasement is definitely wrong. Don't do that. Okay. But
All right,
then
sir.
फिर बिजनेस के लिए तो वो करना ही चाहिए, अपीजमेंट तो करनी चाहिए. ओके फाइन. कमिंग बैक टू आवर टॉपिक, दैट कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, देयर आर फोर बेसिक स्टाइल्स, and a person has his own primary style at which he is comfortable with, and then he has a secondary style also which he uses at his work, he uses at his domestic place, he uses while talking with while with his relatives, etc. So that is the secondary style, and he has and some people have their combination style also, which is the combination of the primary and the secondary style together. Okay, so these are the styles. This is about the primary and the secondary style that a person is having. Moving more on to this primary and secondary style, as I told you that we'll talk more about this. Supposing, let us assume that the primary style of a person is director. Okay, he is a director. So these are the four style I have taken. This is not as per Dr. Ellen Russo model. Okay, you can skip this slide from your mind afterwards, because we are going to basically discuss the Dr. Ellen Russo model only further. But just to make you understand between the primary and secondary style, and how does that impact into your communication, how does your communication change, I'm just trying to tell you. Supposing a person is having the primary style of a dictator, so this is a different model. This is not the direct and the systematic and that kind of a model. This is a different model where he has classified the four style as director, expressor, harmonizer, and thinker. In Ellen Russo model, Ellen Russo has classified it as direct. Then here he has written as systematic. Okay. And over here he has written as what is this one? Here he has written as spirited. Okay. And over here he has written as considerate. Okay. But according to this author, he has made it as director, expressor, thinker, and harmonizer. So this four quadrant, they stand for the director style. This four quadrant, they stand for the expressor style. This four quadrant, they stand for the thinker. This four quadrant, inside this quadrant, they stand for harmonizer. So if a person is director, यानी यहाँ पे उसकी प्राइमरी स्टाइल बिलोंग करती है, और इसकी सेकेंडरी स्टाइल हार्मोनाइजर है, यानी यहाँ पे है, तो his total style will be a persuader. So this is his style that he is going to have a combination of it. So finally his style will be a persuader. Now how has this taken place? Okay, So what he has done is, according to him, so this is your primary style. So ये जो है, ये quadrant उसने बाहर निकाला, यहाँ पे रख दिया, ये quadrant यहाँ पे रख दिया. Again, this quadrant can be divided into 4: director, expressor, harmonizer, and thinker. Right? So his primary style is director. So remove these 4 quadrants, keep it aside. I have kept it over here. Okay. Then his secondary style is harmonizer. So again, director, expressor, thinker, and harmonizer. So his secondary style becomes persuader. Okay. So sorry, his combination style becomes as a persuader. Now you tell me, supposing somebody has a direct style, primary style as a expressor, and he has his secondary style as thinker. So the primary style is expressor and his secondary style is a thinker. So what will be his combination style? If you have understood this, please. His primary style is expressor and his secondary style is a thinker. So what will be his combination style? Are you understanding or not, or गड़बड़ हो रही है? Hello, please, somebody.
Yes sir, वापस सर एक बार समझाए please.
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं.
हाँ.
Now, supposing somebody has a primary style as director. So this is the quadrant that he lies in. बराबर है? तो ये quadrant निकाल के मैंने बाहर रख दिया अभी यहाँ पे. ठीक है? This is the quadrant that I have kept outside. Again, this quadrant I have divided into 4 parts: director, expressor, thinker, and harmonizer. 4 corners, 4 style. So his secondary style is harmonizer. So harmonizer lies over here. So his final style is going to become, his combination style is going to become persuader. Are you getting me? Understood? Another example. Supposing somebody has a primary style as a harmonizer. So this is the quadrant which he belongs to. Okay. And his secondary style is expressor. तो ये है डायरेक्टर. अभी हार्मोनाइजर बाहर निकालने के बाद this becomes director, this becomes expressor, this becomes okay, this becomes expressor, this becomes thinker, and this becomes harmonizer. So इसके primary style है harmonizer, secondary style है expressor. So he becomes what? His style becomes nurturer. Got it? Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Please put your answer in. Please put your answer in chat box. Please put your answer in chat box. Yes or no? If you are not understood, I'll explain it again. But write down yes or no in the chat box. Okay. Many are saying clear in the chat box. Fine. So now, if you have a primary style as a, I said that you have a primary style as an expressor. So primary style is expressor and your secondary style is thinker. Then what is going to be a combination style? You can write down in the chat box. Or you can open the box and you can open the mic and tell me. Primary style is expressor and secondary style is a thinker. So what will be the combination style?
Diplomat.
Fantastic. Who was it?
Akash.
Akash. Fantastic. Akash what?
Butterfly.
अच्छा, आकाश फैंटास्टिक. His style is going to be a diplomat. आपने बहुत बार सुना होगा आकाश जब लोग एक दूसरे को बोलते क्या डिप्लोमेटिक बातें कर रहा है, बराबर है? Have you heard this sentence?
Yes.
Have you heard this sentence? कितना डिप्लोमेटिक बात करता है ये लड़का. It means what? His primary style is expressor and though he is expressive in nature, but he thinks and he expresses. Okay, so he becomes a diplomat because he is expressing with thinking. Okay, hence you are calling him as a diplomat. Okay, now I'll just open the poll and you have to write down the style, okay, inside the poll. Just see the poll. What I'll write down the question over there. What is his primary style and what is the secondary style, that I'll write down. The primary style, you don't have to answer in chat box, you have to answer in poll. Okay, the primary style is thinker and secondary style is the secondary style is director. Okay, so the primary style is thinker and the secondary style is a director. So you have to tell me the answer. What is going to be his what do you call that style? One minute, I'll just open the poll. So whether his style is investigator, or whether his style is organizer, or whether his style is analyzer, or whether his style is supporter. Okay, I'll give you multiple choice, right? You have to choose one of the choice from this. I have opened the poll for you. Click one answer. His primary style I have written is a thinker and his secondary style is your director. It's a multiple choice. Everybody has to answer. I'm waiting for an answer. Everybody has to answer. There are 39 students who have not answered. Either they are not online or they have not understood it. Okay. Now, the answers up till now that I have got, 25 answers I have received. I don't know why the others are not answering. Please do answer. Is it that only 24 students are online listening to the lecture, or what it is? Now I have received 36 answers. 37. Out of that, various answers have been received. Okay, fine. Fine. I have received 41 answers. Out of these 41 answers, I'll just close the poll and I will open the answers for you. Let me show you the answers. Okay, so can you see the answers? So investigator, near about 15 students have said investigator, 16 students have said organizer, 5 students have said analyzer, and 5 students have said supporters. Okay. So the exact answer was investigator. So only 27% have understood what I mean to say. Okay. Let us now see how the answer was. Okay. So when I said that the primary style was thinker, okay, it means what? I am going to remove this square from here. This is the square that I am removing from here. So this is the square that I am selecting. Let me select this square. So just remove this square from your mind. Just remove this square from your mind. Just remove this square from your mind. Okay. So this 4 square I am removing from my mind. And what comes in front of me is this square. Right? Because this is my primary style. Now this square I am going to divide into 4 parts. This is going to be the director, क्योंकि ऊपर की तरफ director आता है, so this is going to be the director. Over here is going to be expressor. Okay, over here is going to be thinker, and over here it is going to be what? Harmonizer. So primary style is thinker, and the secondary style I said is director. So the final style becomes investigator. Understood? Okay. Supposing I would have said that the primary style is thinker, so this is the box that I've selected. And if the secondary style I have just said expressor, then the final style would have been organizer. Okay. If I would have said the primary style is harmonizer, then this would have been the square. Okay. Again, this divided into 4 parts, and I would have said that the secondary style is director. Then he would have been the final style would have been counselor. If I said primary style is harmonizer and the secondary style is expressor, then his final style would be nurturer. If I would have said the primary style is harmonizer and the secondary style is thinker, okay, then this would have been the square. That is, he is a provider. Okay, and in a similar manner, pleaser is the one who is having the primary style as harmonizer and secondary style he is having as a expressor. Secondary style also is having as a harmonizer. So his primary style is also harmonizer and his secondary style is also a harmonizer. So that is the predominant one. So can somebody open his mic and tell me what is the style that the director is having, the dictator is having? What is the primary style that the dictator is having? Primary and secondary style that the dictator is having. Can somebody open the mic and tell me fast before we move on to the next slide and end up with this slide? Anybody open your mic and tell me what is the primary style that this dictator is having and what is the secondary style that the dictator is having? Fast. Or should I ask somebody to try? Let me ask. Anaga Biwalkar was not there yesterday for the lecture, so let me see whether Anaga is there today. Anaga, are you there for the lecture? Anaga Biwalkar, are you there for the lecture today? Yes, sir. Okay, open your mic. Anaga. Anaga, unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Anaga, very good. So a dictator is having what as a primary style of communication? A dictator is having which as a primary style of communication? He is having director as his primary style of communication. Okay. And secondary style is also what? His secondary style is also director. That's why he's lying in this quadrant. Okay, fine. Go through this slide very nicely. Okay. And hope you are able to understand whatever I have told up till now. Clear? Take care. Let us go to the next part now. Let us now see each and every style. Now this what you call that? This slide was not based on Ellen Rousseau model. Okay. But what I just wanted to tell you from this style is that depending upon your primary style and depending upon your secondary style, you basically tend to have a combination of your style. Okay. Here there are 16 styles that are given. There may be micro styles also in between, So depending upon this, there are different communication style that each and every person is having. Further, what we are going to see further in my lectures, what we are going to see are the four primary basic styles that we are going to try to study. The first style that we are going to study, first basic communication style that we are going to study, depending upon Dr. Aline Rousseau's model, is the direct communication style. This direct communication style lies in this quadrant. Okay, this is the quadrant where the direct communication style lies. So he is the person who is having high assertiveness, okay, and he is low on emotions. This is emotion and this is assertiveness. So he is the person who is highly assertive in nature, और वो इमोशनलेस आदमी है, उसका इमोशन लेवल बहुत लो है, किसी के बारे में वो ज्यादा सोचता नहीं है. ओके, उसके हम बोलते ना किती कठोर हृदयाचा आहे. ओके, he is of a very strong heart, emotionless person. Okay, he is that kind of a person. Okay, low on emotions and high on assertiveness, right? Second, these are the people who tend to tell, as I told you. They tell what is to be done instead of asking what should be done. They don't ask you, they just give you the directions. Do this, do that, this should be done, do it in this way. They will never ask you in communication. They will never discuss with you. They will never have a meeting and listen to your suggestions. They will just direct and give you the commands. They will not show emotions. As they are low on emotions, they will never show emotions while they are communicating. Oh, kya hua? Aisa hua? Are re re. If you tell them, sir, just for example, you are having a communication with a direct communicator style, and you tell him, sir, last week I had COVID and I was not well. Then next sentence would be, are you well now? You will say, yes, sir. Okay, go for your work. Whereas the person who is having high emotions, he will be like, oh my God, you had COVID. Very nice to see you now. How are you now? Are you fit? Very good. If you want some rest, please do take rest. Okay, don't exert yourself. These are the things that will come in their communication. Okay, who are high on emotions. But the people who are of direct communication style, they are very low on emotions. Okay, their communication style is meant to be speedy. Okay, so they want the work to be done very fast. They will give their decisions within quick seconds. Okay, because they have to tell. They don't have to ask you. So there is no discussion that is going on. So they will just, in communication, they will just tell you what is to be done fast. And they appear to be very blunt and cold to others. अगर आप उनसे बात करोगे, आपको लगेगा कितना blunt आदमी है. These words you have already used in your communication, isn't it? That man is very blunt. That friend of mine is very blunt. He is very cold. He does not have any emotions. Okay, so he appears to be very blunt and cold when he is communicating. Okay. Now, so first of all, you have to identify. This is the exercise that I'm giving you today. That please do identify your communication style. What is the communication style that you have? Whether you have a direct communication style, whether you have a spirited communication style, whether you have a concerted communication style, and whether you have a systematic communication style. Now, your communication style will depend upon the things that you have to, what you have to think and you have to decide is how is your assertiveness and how is your emotion. Okay, depending upon these two aspects, you have to decide upon your communication style. कहाँ पे आप land करते हो. Okay, so please do tell me your communication style, right? I will give you this assignment. ज़्यादा बड़ा assignment नहीं होता मेरा. Like your what do you call that, isotonicity बड़ा assignment था. मेरा assignment बहुत छोटा है. You just have to think about your communication style, what kind of communication style you have, and when we come on next Monday, the first thing I will do is I will open the poll and ask you, please tell me your communication style. So in that you have to write down about your communication style, what kind of a communication style you have as you think. Okay, this is the communication style that I have. Okay, and then we will try to see the different communication style, and then you try to match and see whether your communication style is matching with whatever I am telling you. Okay, and if not, do you want to change your communication style? Is it clear? Understood? And then I will give you, at the end I will give you another assignment. Clear?